Allow me to please warmly welcome, and I want all your good energies, good claps, good endorphins to flow in as we warmly welcome the chairman and the chief creative officer from BBDO India. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Josy Paul. Mr. Paul, a very, very good morning to you and a warm, warm welcome to you. We absolutely love the style with which you're walking up on the stage. It's all yours. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah? I'm going to get some help from Sandeep, who's going to share some of my work. And we'll talk about new age marketing and maybe the new age customer. But before I start, if you go to the next slide, yeah, Sandeep, we'll talk about 7 principles of customer centricity as I see it, and it's totally personal. It doesn't have to be the way you see it. I'm here sharing with you what I've seen in my experience over the last few years, and especially with these changing times. But before I start, I want to share a film that we did in Feb of this year and what that did. Yeah, and that'll show you where customer centricity and new age marketing is likely to go. So let's play the film, which comes after this. Just after this, yeah? You can skip this, yeah, just play the film.
What's wrong? All okay?
कमल, do you realize कि आज क्या हुआ? आज मेरे पास सिर और अमन के घर जाने का बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं था। हाँ, मैं बस 5 मिनट में मेल भेज रही हूँ। मैं घर पहुँच ही रही हूँ। अब बिल्कुल हो जाएगा।
नहीं लोग हैं, मिल लेते हैं।
I had so much to do. मैंने तुम्हें कहा भी, पर just acted like my time didn't matter.
Hi, I'm Kamal. My wife Seema. हम लोग ऊपर रहते हैं।
I'm Sid.
I'm Aman. Hi.
अंदर आइए ना।
हम बस नाश्ते की तैयारी करते हैं। Please have some.
अमन फर्स्ट क्लास पोहा बनाते हैं। अंदर आइए ना।
कब?
Yeah, please, this way.
चाय लेंगे या कॉफी? चाय?
चाय। तुम उनका घर देख रहे थे और
बाथरूम में रखा है ये, ओके।
मैं उन्हें suddenly realized that
यार चाय बना रही है।
we don't have what they have. मैंने तुम्हें बताने की कोशिश भी की, पर देखो साथ में कैसे काम करते हैं। तुमने मेरी बात समझी नहीं।
इसमें क्या है? जब मैं और अविनाश कॉलेज में साथ रहते थे ना, तो हम भी सारा काम बांट के ही करते थे।
और जब चाय दी, थैंक यू।
Oh my! I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Don't worry, we'll take care of it.
सिर्फ मुझे ही सब कुछ करना पड़ता है। Have you thinking कि अगर सिर और अमन एक साथ काम कर सकते हैं, तुम अविनाश के साथ एक साथ काम बांट के करते थे, तो मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं? मतलब तुमने मुझे अपने बराबर समझा नहीं ना? You ever see me as your equal?
Thank you. So yeah, a bit too strong, a bit too defined, but we sort of try to understand the mood of the world, the mood of the country, the mood of people in general, and how women are feeling. And this is for a brand Ariel, as you saw. But the reason I showed you this is that I want to talk about the 7 principles through the lens of what we just did. Yeah. And I don't know how you felt. People have told me it's a bit uncomfortable. And to be honest, we got more than 1 million comments for this film. We got, I think, about 1900 publications around the world wrote about it. And it was viewed about 100 million times, maybe more. And that's where we're going to talk about new age marketing or new age consumer. So the first principle is that it's not new age marketing, it's new age consumer. Because the whole point is that the way we consume media has changed. And when you look at it, you'll notice that this is not a TV spot, it's a digital video. And what you don't see, which you'll see at the end when I present the entire case study, is that how this one stimulus was exploded in so many ways across social media, through the use of influencers, through the use of PR, through the use of social activation, and through on-ground experiences. So that video at the end, which I show you, will then take you through this journey of the 7 principles. Yeah, but I thought in a short time of 7, 8, 10 minutes, this is all we can share, and that's what I'm here to share. So the changing nature of media has changed the way we look at the idea. You know, when I started with print and then TV and outdoor and radio, and today the things that we're doing is so much more interactive. It's letting people comment, get involved. And the second principle, which I want to share, which Sandeep will share in the next slide, is people are looking for meaning, not brands. And this is important because especially millennials and the Gen Z, they want the brand to reflect some fundamental sort of attitude, some purpose, something that they can believe in. Maybe somewhere along the way, young people feel that something is lost, and if brands can give them that missing piece, they will be far more connected with that brand. And I was writing here that they want authentic messages, authentic interactions. They believe that brands with a purpose pass the authenticity test. Brands that only support a one-time cause may not, because they'll be found out. This campaign for Share the Load has been running for 7 years. It's not just a campaign, it's a commitment. It's not just a commitment, it's a movement, because so many more people are involved in it. It's not just us doing the work, it's all the volunteers and ambassadors who are lifting this. And that's the nature of interactivity. And more importantly, that's coming not from the new age marketing, it's a response to where consumers are, where young people are, and we're trying to respond to that. The next point that I want to make, which is this next principle, and again, Sandeep, if you could move that, don't just tell me, involve me, right? I mean, there are a lot of ads that and marketing that just beams out stuff to people. They're not letting people get in. But young people today, our mass consumer, wants to be involved, wants to participate, and I'm not telling you anything new. You can see that in the way social media and other media is working, the way TikTok is working, the way Reels is working, the way YouTube Shorts is working. So all of this tells us that you can't have one-way messaging. We've got to have something that allows people to participate. Then the next principle, the fourth principle, is people want to be a part of something bigger. And that's what, when you look at the work that we're doing for Share the Load or Ariel, the amount of people who've gotten involved in that conversation, it's no longer about a marketer and an ad agency. It is everybody from influencers to Bollywood stars to news anchors to every person who believes in that cause or in that purpose. And they lift the brand and they make that brand a lot more visible, which main media can't do. And often when we do some work like this, we find that it spreads so fast on digital medium that we have to actually wait before we do anything on TV, because the digital medium is already pushing the message through people and their comments and not just through the ad. Yeah, so the point I was making is that they want to be a part of something bigger. Finding meaning and purpose is about being part of something you believe in that's bigger than yourself. At the core, it's a sense of being connected to or contributing to something bigger beyond ourselves. This might sound huge, but it isn't. We are all connected to the world and all the things that we see around us. We are connected to that film. You can't take that away. It's not a film. It's the context of the film, that there is something going on and we haven't seen it, but now we have. And so now we discuss it, right? And the thing is, the rise of passion groups that you see more and more, whether it's groups that's into cycling or football or cooking or gardening, you see the rise of these things is because people want to be a part of something bigger. And brands can take consumers and take them to that place. And then the next point, which I want to talk about a little more, it's not just about big data, it's about emotional data. In all this noise of data, which is important, we're forgetting a basic human truth that inside us, at the core of the way we think and feel, is something so magical that it connects us all. And often we forget to look for that. And for me, what I do is I call it emotional archaeology. We dig deep. Yeah, it's not about just insights. It's about confessions. And confession is a place that even research does not get to, because research cannot get to your deepest soul. But a confession can. And how do you do that? There are many ways to do it. One of the things we do in we call it our ashram, it's an office, is that we bring people together and we speak about, say, an issue or about a subject or about, not a brand, but about a category. For example, eBay came to us saying, we are successful, but we need to know a reason why. We need a purpose. We need to know what are we really about. And we said, eBay, that's an e-commerce brand. I mean, how can they have a purpose? And we got a bit cynical about it. But then I said, no, one sec. What if we try? So we got 22 people into a room. And I said, why do you buy things? Why do you buy things? Because eBay is about buying things, right? It's e-commerce. And in the beginning, people were like trying to show off about brands and why they buy stuff and how it's so cool and stuff like that. But as we went along, after an hour of discussion, and you get deeper and there is a little bit of vulnerability that enters the group, one of the girls said that I buy things because when I was born, my grandmother always wanted a boy and I was born a girl. And I want to prove to her that I'm better than any guy. So I buy things. I buy things to prove. Now you won't get that in research. You have to have a deeper connection with your consumer to get that. Not everybody can do it, but it is the way we do it. It's not manipulation, because all of this is, we stop every few minutes and say, are you guys okay to continue? So it's almost like creative therapy. And we then uncover stuff that people have never said before. And when you look at the film for Ariel, it's the same thing. There are so many things there that all of us feel is true, but we've never said it. How did we find it? It's through these confessions. And then we did this campaign for eBay, which said, things don't judge. That eBay has 1 million things that don't judge. A skipping rope doesn't judge if you're 80 years old. A ring doesn't judge if you're straight or gay or whatever. Or a diya doesn't judge if you're Hindu or Muslim. It's just things don't judge. That's what eBay was about, and we found it through this process. So when I talk about emotional data, I'm talking about the universality of sometimes an individual confession. Because when you go really deep into ourselves, we're all the same. And when we hit rock bottom and our true vulnerability comes out, that connects with the entire universe, because that is universal. Now to get there is what we try to seek. And I feel that's part of what we need to do as New Age marketers, who are looking at new age consumers, right? So yeah, that's just an example. We'll go to the next one, please. Yeah, a point of view matters more than a point of differentiation, because a point of differentiation will always, somebody else will come and that differentiation will go away, because it's easy to sort of copy that. But a point of view is your point of view. Nobody else can steal that. No other marketer, because the more other marketers get into that, they're actually selling your own brand. And that's what, if you look at Ariel, when Ariel came to us 7 years ago, their whole proposition was, we can wash the toughest, most stubborn dirt with just one wash. And we felt that was great. One wash was great. It's a very hardcore performance indicator. But that performance indicator was not moving the market. And then as we did our creative therapy sessions, as we went deeper into emotional data and listening to people and consumers, we discovered something very beautiful. And that is why, and we saw the inequity of household chores, how people are helping out. We discovered that a man spends only 17 minutes helping in household chores while a woman does 5 hours. And so we went back to the client and said, there is a larger issue here for laundry that can be resolved, and you can find a larger purpose for yourself. And the whole point we said was, Ariel, washes away the toughest, most stubborn stains in just one wash, yes, but anyone can do it. We just added that line to the proposition, and anyone can do it. The moment we added that, it just changed the game. And Ariel from number 5 is today number 2. And it's a story of growth. And I'll show you the case video of the last campaign when we end. Yeah, so a point of view matters more than a point of differentiation. I'm sure all of us have points of view, but like human beings have points of view, brands need to have a point of view. Brands need to take a stand and then stick to it, not as a season thing that you change every season, but something you committed to. Yeah. And the last point, the 7th one, is conversation creates sentiment, which creates desirability. It's important today that your brand be part of the conversation. If it's not, and in a good way, not in the way that some of us have seen what's happening around us, but in a good way. Ariel has been part of conversations for a long time, which is why it's growing so well. Because what happens with conversation is that it creates a sentiment. When it creates a sentiment, it's like the stock market. It creates desirability. And that's how consumers start gravitating towards the brand. And so conversation also allows people to get in, right? People want to be, like I said, part of something bigger. They want to be involved. And conversation allows them that. So what is the brand doing with its point of view so that it can be part of the conversation? Otherwise, it's forgotten. A 30-second spot will come and go. What is the echo? What is the larger sort of aura around it that people are carrying, so that even if people forget the ad, they still remember the context of it, because context is important. And just to end the point that I'm making, I want to show an integrated piece that we've done. It's just a case study for 2 minutes. It tells you the different things that we did for Ariel in the last 3 months. And it shows you how we cover almost every medium that is today's medium. Yeah? Yeah, you can please.
It's not that men can't do this job. Clearly they can. I mean, you don't need to be a scientist, rocket scientist to load the laundry.
A World Economic Forum report says gender equality is 135 years away, which means no woman alive will see gender parity in her lifetime. To accelerate the pace of change, Ariel, India's leading detergent brand, took a more defiant stand this year. In a country where women are conditioned to never challenge their husbands, the wife confronts her husband and asks why men like him can share the load with other men, but not with their wives. Is it because you never saw us as equals?
Do you ever see me as your equal?
See equal share the load was a bold new tone for the country. and it created instant news.
I saw this video and I'll be honest, it made me a bit uncomfortable because you know it hits a little too close to home.
The film was viewed over 150 million times across platforms. It triggered millions of uncomfortable conversations and was covered in over 1,900 publications across 40 countries. To further catalyze the movement, Ariel made a confession on the front page of leading dailies. The brand acknowledged that ever since advertising began, housework has been portrayed as a woman's job. In a way, we're all responsible for the inequality we see at home. The open letter urged all content creators, media partners, and advertisers to help change the imagery. Partners joined in, so did the action, and Ariel turned its packs into a silent protest. For the first time, Ariel changed the names on its packs with names of hundreds of Indian men.
Now I can hold this pack and tell my husband Ritesh, share the
The impact, 4 billion earned impressions, 43% increase in emotional equities. Sales grew by 29%. When we began in 2015, 79% men believe that laundry is a woman's job. That number is down to 26% today.
Yeah? Yeah, that's it. Thanks. So that gives you a sort of sense quickly of all the things that we did and doesn't cover a lot of the other things, but just a quick one. Yeah, so we've run out of time, and just to sum up the 7 principles that I spoke about, not new age marketing, it's new age consumer. So we've got to look at it from a media perspective. People are looking for meaning, not brands. Don't just tell me, involve me. People want to be a part of something bigger. It's not just about big data, it's about emotional data, and we spoke about that confession. A point of view matters more than a point of differentiation. We talked about share the load, and that one point of view changed everything. Conversation creates sentiment, and that creates desirability. So that, dear friends, is all I have to share. I hope something about it, something in that helps you in some way, because it's helped me a lot. Yeah? Thanks.